Welcome everybody, Steve here. Today we're continuing on Project Gray, our 56 Ford pickup. And today I'm going to sandblast and prep this seat here. Now, one thing we don't do is upholstery, but I sure can paint the frame. So I'm going to take it all apart, make it a little bit easier to work with. And you know, some people just try and buff this up a little bit and spray vomit. Man, time involved in doing something like that, I can do it way faster with a sandblaster, hang it and spray it and make it look, you know, decent. You want it to last a long time. It's starting to rust pretty good. You can see that. But it doesn't look like there's very many broken springs, but that's up to the, oh, we might have one here. One right there. May have to figure out how to weld it up. I don't know. I'll figure that out. See where it goes. Look at the other one. And fix anything that's kind of not right. And then we're going to ship it off to the upholsterer shop. They're going to look after it. And what colors they picked for the upholstery, I don't know. That'll be a mystery. It'll be one of those surprise things in a future video. But first of all, let's get going on taking this apart. It's pretty simple, this piece here, the sliders. I'm not gonna, this is all galvanized. I don't have any interest in painting that at all. It's not too bad a shape. So we'll just take it off. It's just a 1/2 inch. Now the only thing holding the back onto the front, or the bottom onto the back, is just this pin. It's pretty simple. Now in our frame here, we got a couple broken springs, and we just happen to have an old one kicking around, an old seat. It's in pretty rough shape, but there's some springs on there that we can use, and that just really worked out well in our favor. So I'm going to take a couple springs off of here, replace a couple of these broken ones, and other than that, it seems to be in pretty good shape. Got a real windy day today, so I got you kind of covered up. We've got a little bit of damage right in here. I'm just gonna do the bodywork real quick. See how it's gonna look. Now a lot of times what you would do is you would do this, same time you do your door if you want it perfect, but we're not after perfect. We want it to look original and make it look like it was out of the factory, not out of one of these high-end builders you see on TV. Just gonna leave the bottom here. We're gonna sandblast down here, but that's okay. I just want to make sure that this is in primo shape here so that I can look at the door, make sure it's right. It only takes 20 minutes and you're done. So, not a big deal. Okay, we got her looking pretty good. That's about as good as you're gonna get, unless the guy starts cutting into this. This piece here, when Ford built this, sits there and rocks. It's way out. It's out about the 16th of an inch. But that's the way that it was built. So we're gonna have a little bit of a spot here where it doesn't really quite line up, but from there on, she looks really good. As good as I can get her, without taking it to the next step. All right. Think we could probably start on the next door now. We got a really nice fit here now. You know, it takes a little tweaking, and even with the door on, I'm just using this bar here and just fine tuning it and getting that line to match this line. Looks really, really good. Now I'm comfortable to about popping the door off and getting started with everything else. So now when I do the body work on the door, I'm confident that they're going to fit nice and I don't have to screw around with them. Alright, let's get the door off. As soon as you sandblast, the rust shows itself. You know, I didn't think there was anything on this one side. You give it a little sandblast. There's actually some on the bottom there as well we're gonna have to fix. Minor. We knew we had to do it anyway. The other side's worse. Okay, with the rust work, I'm gonna start on the front post, down at the bottom. There's not very much rust down there, so we're going to build our own panels. It's not like we have to buy the whole front piece or anything like that. But I've done it enough times that I've got myself a little piece of metal bent up here as a template. So we're going to make it a little wider than normal, so because that way we can trim it, make sure it's going to fit properly, all that kind of good stuff. Alright, so we're just going to use a zip cut. You know, I know some people commented, but I don't use a guard on the zip cut. You have to be able to see where you're going. And if you're confident enough, they're pretty safe. Out of all the years that I've ever used a zip cut, I've never had one ever break on me. You know, doing a cut. Pretty amazing. I was really scared of them to begin with. One of these days I want to get a little cutter that I could just go along like this. But those days aren't here yet for me. Alright, let's cut these out, then we can kind of get them all bent up and then remove the old stuff. Alright, we're coming along a little bit here, just kind of getting started on the rust. I got that front one tacked in. Forgot my camera yesterday. It's alright. Anyway, I want to take this outside and I want to cut this out first and do a little sandblasting in there, kind of keep it, you know, clean it up a little bit. And it's not going to be the finished cut, but it'll be enough to get us going. And then I'm going to put this on my rotisserie. If you've seen some of my past videos, I've got a rotisserie for these cabs. It's just going to save so much time. It only takes me half an hour to put the rotisserie on. That's probably going to save me 10 hours of work. So it's a big benefit to have a rotisserie. Took the windows out of it, and that's a real quick little process. I didn't save any of the rubbers. They're so hard and brittle at this point. So get rid of those. So next thing, I'm going to cut the rust out of here. There's almost no rust on this side, but it's starting over here. And if you're really serious about your restorations, you know, and you've got a, like where I'm from here in Alberta, you know, there's rust everywhere. And if you got a cab that has no rust, eventually it's going to start rusting because it's just a matter of time. So it's beneficial. Like there's no rust anywhere along here, but if I just fix this little tiny spot back here, you know, what's to say in 2 years the rust isn't going to start coming through here. So I'm going to replace this cab corner, and this one here is pretty rough shape, so we'll replace him for sure. Alright, let's cut this out of here, do a little sandblasting, and then we'll get her on the rotisserie. Alright, you can see how I got everything set up. I've got her tilted on, so she's down now. She's almost balanced. It's not 100%, but it's really good. I just bolted on where the seats are. We got a couple of, I guess, A supports, if you want to call them that. But I'm going to modify things. So what I'm going to do is I want to put some wheels on this. So I'm going to modify this just so that I can pull this outside and do some sandblasting. You can see here that we got to clean the bottom up, and you know, we were talking about hauling this out with the tractor, tipping it a little bit, getting underneath there and sandblasting. But if I could get wheels on those A-frames and drag this outside, life would be so much better. And you can see how much easier it's going to be to fix rust like this standing up instead of laying down on the ground. Gonna make life way better. Same on that side, pretty rough. And you look down, way down. Where's my focus? There's rust there. It's amazing, you know, that's the sandblasting on the corners, and really reveals the rust. Easy enough to fix though. All right. Well, I flanged up my little A-frame here with some wheels, and it was a cheap little fix. They were only 20 bucks a piece, and you know, a couple hours worth of work, and it wheeled out really easy. So I'm pretty happy. So now I can roll this out, do some sandblasting, and not have to worry. I like it. So you can see the benefit of having this rotisserie. You know, like this is a repair if you're laying on your back, man. That's a tough repair to do. But now I can just sit here and cut all this stuff out, and it's not bad at all. So I guess we should just get going on it, cut it out, and then we can make a new patch, put her back in. Hey, we're getting ready to weld this little patch in here. And when I'm all said and done, you know, I want this to look as original as it possibly can. Because you just don't want your, you know, to go underneath the truck, look at it, inspect it, and going, oh, there's been some really shoddy rust work. But on the inside, of course, this is where the rust is going to happen. There's some pits in here. Like, you don't really have to cut this out if it's not that bad. Like, this one's not that bad at all. If it was, you know, there's a lot of holes in there, of course, you know, we'd be cutting this all out. But there's nothing wrong with welding these pits up. So that's what we're going to do next. Alright, I got her tacked in and kind of semi-welded up, but wherever our little holes here for our spot welds are, remember we got paint in behind, so we need to clean that up. And what you do here is, I call this the Fitzy's bit, because I got the idea from Fitzy's Fabrication. Might want to check him out, real cool guy. And you just take and flatten an old drill bit that you've got, and all you do is just go in there. And it does a great job of cleaning up the metal, get it ready for welding. Now I don't usually grind where I did my spot welds. That's just courtesy for the next guy. You know, 20 years from now, you may have to replace this panel again. So at least you know where you have to grind to get it off. Alright, we got this thing, this patch fitting really well here now. And, well, could probably use a little bit more off of that hole right there. Right. No, it won't fit at all. Needs to be tweaked in a little bit right there. So what we're going to do, tack this in here, and then we'll weld everything up. We'll plug weld it, and then get it all done, grind it up, get it ready for some filler. So, yeah, take your time when you're setting these up so they look good. The better they fit, the easier it is to weld everything up, and the better it looks in the end. So looks good. Happy with that. Got a little welding to do on the other patch on the other side, but I'm running low on gas, both me and the welder. So that means that we'll have to pick up next time, but that's about as good as a guy can get on a cab corner. I'm really happy with that. Now we had a lot to work with here. You know, we didn't have to, you know, cut a lot of stuff out of here, but still, doesn't matter how good it looks, there's always going to be a little bit of work to do. All right, we'll continue this project, but for now, we'll end it here and finish this one up next day, and then we'll get started on the back ones, on the back cab corners. Till next time, thanks.